If my brows had a voice and they could talk, they would not be very happy with me. Would yours be happy with you? Mine would be very, very mad at me. I have undergone a brow evolution in the last year. It has been an evolution, let me tell you. I have had a powder ombre tattoo. I got that removed. I got them laminated and I burnt the crap out of the hair. I've had them done lighter with makeup. Then I took it too far and I went too light. Then I went darker. Then I took it too far and I went too dark. And along this journey, I have tried every product on the shelf to make them look like that modern Instagram brow of our dreams. That's all I wanted. I wanted that fluffy, modern Instagram brow, and I just couldn't figure out how to do it. Until now, I have just figured out how to do it, and today I'm gonna teach you. Let's get started. Okay, so here are my brows in the before. These are my brows earlier today when I had absolutely no makeup on them. As you can see, they're pretty thin. I really don't have very much hair. The first product that you need is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Gel. This is a really good product. I have tried a bunch of different dupes for it. I tried the NYX one that's also like a brow glue. This one really is the best one in my opinion compared to all of the other brow gel products. All you have to do is you have to dip a spoolie into the product, and then you take that gel and you brush it through the brow hairs. Now, when you're going to the front, you're going to brush it upwards, and then once you get to kind of the middle of the brow and the tail of the brow, I like to brush it a little bit more on an angle so that it arches up. So it's just not all sticking straight up. We want the front up, and then we want the arched part of the brow to be on a little bit of an angle. Now, when you do this, you will notice that your brow hairs are laying perfectly. They really are laying quite in sync or in order. As soon as you do this, you'll notice that your brows instantly look significantly thicker. Now, if you want them to look more laminated, so you really want them to be super separated, super lifted, then you want to go in with something to kind of push them into the skin. What I'm using is just a palette knife. So you can get these in makeup supply stores. You can also just buy it on Amazon. I'll leave one linked for you. Now we can see here in this clip, okay? You can see that one of my brows is done, the other one isn't. The brow that's done already looks so much more full. It's wild. It's crazy that this does that, but we still need to fill it in quite a bit because I don't have a lot of hair density. If you have a ton of hair density, you might be good with just doing this and leaving it. But if your hairs are, you know, there's holes or they're finer like mine, then you can go in with another product. Now, this product is called the Brow Flick by Glossier. I have also tried loads of other products just like these, including the NYX one. The NYX one I have in all the different colors. It's not as good as this one. Still, the formulation isn't as defined. I find the NYX kind of spreads a little bit more, which isn't a huge deal, but when you're trying to get a lot of very precise detailing, you don't want the liquid formula to bleed at all. Okay, so what I like to start doing is I like to start at the bottom of the brow and I just start drawing tiny little hairs, okay? We have our general shape already, but now we just need to perfect the shape. Now, as you can see, I am missing a huge section of brow hair right in here. So my brow almost looks too arched because I don't have enough hair on this part of my brow. So I go in with the pen and I draw those hairs one by one to fill in that hole. When you're filling in a large area or like a whole area, make sure that you're drawing those hairs really close together so it doesn't look like it's hollow. Another little piece of advice that I can give you is to use low pressure with this. The higher the pressure, so the more pressure you put on this, the wider and more dense the line. The less amounts of pressure you put on this, the skinnier and the more precise the line. So this is gonna take a little bit to get used to. So play with it a little bit on your hand before you go into your brows, and don't get discouraged if you do this on your brows the first few times and you don't like it. That's what happened with me. I used it a couple of times. I didn't love it only because I needed to perfect the amount of pressure I was using in the areas of the brow. But as soon as you kind of figure out the sketching technique, it's really easy and actually very fast. Okay, so when I am not directly in this part of the brow, the very front of the brow, when I'm here, instead of sketching all the way up, I'm actually sketching on a diagonal coming to the sides. When you're doing this, you kind of want to look at the hair growth, your brow's hair growth. You want to see what direction it's growing in, and you want to just, you know, mimic that direction that the brows are growing in. And then when you get to the very front, because our brow hairs grow up at the front, you can tilt your pen and you can sketch all the way up. Now, I needed to fill that area in quite a bit because I'm actually missing quite a bit of hair there. So I just went in and I sketched almost that entire front area in. Again, go really easy on your pressure so that you don't end up with a line that's too heavy or dense or thick in the front of the brow. When I am all done sketching those hairs in, then I go in with a concealer brush. Now, I don't even put product on this brush. There is some residual product left over on here, but I just take it, you know, pretty much as a clean brush, and I just make sure that all of the hairs are lining up perfectly on top and in the middle. Just having that little pressure put on those little strokes will straighten everything out and lead to a much more like professional looking end result. And here is our end result. As you can see, they're so fluffy, they're so full, they are so natural. If you try it, definitely let me know in the comment section below. I would love to hear if it, you know, worked out as well for you as it has for me. I'll catch you guys in the next one.